Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be reviewing some Microfiber Madness products.
Lil guns down, Lil guns down, Lil guns down in the ground. Lil guns down, boy, or I will lay you down. Say your last prayer, and don't look back here no more. The Lord can't help you, you've gone too far for sure. I'm on the highway, hitting county lines, singing all the time.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be looking at about 5 or 6 key products in the Microfiber Madness range. So Microfiber Madness are a German-based microfiber supplier, okay, that specialise in detailing products as far as I know. They've been around for, I think, about 10 years, something like that. I believe they started as a detailing company that then started offering microfiber, and then have just built and grown their company over the last sort of 10 years, however long they've been in operation, until they've now got distributors in place all around the world, and they've kind of grown a name for themselves with some kind of flagship products and a reputation for good quality microfiber. Why Microfiber Madness? It's going back to the 3 strikes and you're in rule, okay? 3 best of videos that we did: the best wash mitt, the best buffing cloth, and the best drying towel, okay? Microfiber Madness caught my attention. They featured in all 3 of those reviews, okay? And you can go and watch those videos and see the comments that I made about their 3 products: the incredimitt, the crazy pile buffing cloth, and the dry me crazy drying towel. All good products. This was one of the best quality cloths in the competition, okay? It didn't win because it was outdone on price by a few others, but I sung its praises, and it's a great product. It's the first product Microfiber Madness brought to market when they first kind of started up, I believe about 10 years ago. So that's the crazy pile buffing cloth. The unique feature on this cloth is how plush it is, okay? It had the deepest pile out of all of the cloths in the competition. Really high quality Korean soft microfiber, very safe on your paintwork, okay? Same for the Dry Me Crazy towel. Again, go and watch the review in the best drying towel video. Really impressed with the quality of the microfiber. Again, it didn't win because my judging criteria was the best towel for drying a single car. And I just felt this was a little bit small, this offering, for my personal preference. Funny enough, Microfiber Madness now do an extra large version of it, which is huge. So that would be a pretty impressive product. So that's the Dry Me Crazy towel. Then finally, we encountered their wash mitt in our best wash mitt videos, which was one of the first videos I did for the channel, actually. Now, Microfiber Madness have a range of products that use this kind of 3-layered form of microfiber. I don't even know what the term is for this kind of microfiber. But anyway, I believe if Microfiber Madness is selling you a product that begins with the word incredi, then it's using this 3-layered microfiber. I call it 3-layered because it seems to me, if you kind of look in the inside, it's got this sponge layer with a gauzing over the top of it to kind of encapsulate the sponge and protect the sponge. So the sponge will be great at soaking up water and soaking up all that soapy product, so you can kind of wring out your foams on the car, which is something I like to do, so you don't have to keep going back to the bucket. So that's an important feature, okay? Some of them that don't contain that are a little bit flat, and it's hard to get that soap product or your foam, if you like, on the car and work it. So that's a cool thing. The second layer is then this kind of fluffy, fuzzy microfiber, this white layer that runs all the way through the mitt. And again, that just helps provide some cushioning. It's quite a thick microfiber, so again, it's going to give you some kind of absorption, I guess. But the thing that is making contact with your paint, or making most of the contact, is this like final fluffy kind of strands of microfiber. Now when they get wet, they kind of sit down a little bit more, and then you get that kind of nice mopping action. And the thing I noticed about this mitt is the way that it feels on the paintwork, okay? Some of them can be, you plonk them down, you move them, and they can be quite heavy, and they can, you know, I don't know what the word is, but they just, it's not hard to move them, but you really feel the drag as you move it over your kind of panels, whereas this seems to glide quite nicely over the panels, okay? The product's also really well made, well constructed. This is still going strong almost a year later, and you will notice if you watch a lot of my videos, I am using this mitt more often than not because I just like it, okay? My personal preference is I don't generally favour the mitts. I like to be able to get my hand out of the mitt and plonk the mitt down on the car and kind of, you know, because I just like having my hands free. I find it quite restrictive. So what I was doing is going to use this mitt and just using it like a pad, okay? Because I didn't know Microfiber Madness actually offer a pad. So I really liked this product, and when I saw that they had a pad version, the incredimitt, that kind of prompted me to go and have a look at what they were doing and check out some of their products. And as soon as I had a look on their website, I saw a few products that caught my eye, and I thought, we need to feature some of these products on the channel. So here we are. So that's the Microfiber Madness incredimitt. If you like mitts, you will like this product, okay? It's beyond what I've just said to you about it being really nice to use and the way it feels on the panel. It's very easy to maintain this. You just chuck it in the washing machine. I always wash it on 30 or 40 degrees. I never tumble dry it because after it comes out of the washing machine on a spin, it just feels virtually bone dry. And I put it back in my microfiber drawer and I'm done. And it's there the next time I want to use it, and it's clean. So that's one of the reasons I like it. The price, they're cheaper than they're cheaper than the lamb's wool, which, you know, you can pay quite a lot of money for, 25, 30 quid for a good lamb's wool product. Well, this is £16.95 roughly, so it's cheaper. You know, it's got a lot going for it, this product. It's something that if you haven't tried this format, it's worth trying it, because you don't have a lot of options in the kind of wash mitt or wash pad category. You know, you've got your noodles, you've got your synthetic wool, you've got your lamb's wool, you've got your what else you got? You've got your sponges, your microfiber sponges and stuff. But this tri-layered microfiber is something a little bit different. I think it's really, really cool. So if you haven't tried it, check it out. So that is the Microfiber Madness incredimitt, okay? It's also got a little grip inside that you can grab hold of so the mitt doesn't slide off your hand when you're using it, which is kind of cool. So after we encountered those 3 Microfiber Madness products in my videos, you know, I was impressed. They didn't win for various reasons that I've explained there, but they caught my eye, and I knew what they were doing was high quality, okay? Especially the quality of the microfiber and, you know, like I say, the bespoke nature of some of their products. But that was it. I didn't really think much about them beyond that or encounter them until recently, about 2 months ago, when I found out they were doing a pad version of that mitt. And as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to check this pad out for the channel, okay? Now, I like pads, okay? I just like being able to use the pad. I like the fact that the pad will have a core which will hold loads more product as well. But the main reason, it's a really stupid reason, and it's really personal to me, and a lot of people would think that's a rubbish reason. I don't care about that. It's just simply I like to be able to just drop the pad down on the panel and then my hands are free. You can also get the pads, you know, you can curl them up and get them into all the little parts of the car. I just prefer using this type of product. So the pad turned up this week for me to review. The first thing I saw and I thought when the pad turned up, and I'll be totally honest with you, I looked at it and I thought the pad is too small. So you can see the size of it there, okay? So I looked at it, I hadn't used it, just thought this is too small. I can see why they've done it this size now. And if you go and listen to my best of wash mitts video, okay? One complaint I had, or one big downside I had about using pads, is they're great when you plonk them on a panel and you're rubbing them and they're doing their thing. The one thing that can go wrong is when you're cleaning the side of the car with them, okay? Now, big pads, so you can't get your hand around them, so you're relying on pinning them to the side of the car, you know, or trying to grab hold of them, I guess. And when they're covered in soap and slippery, sometimes you can drop the pad on the floor, which is one of those kind of horror story things where everything goes in slow motion and you kind of, you know, you're in trauma for the next 3 days because you dropped your pad on the floor, you know, even though it's not that bad. You know what I mean? With this pad, as soon as I used it for the first time for the video, I can see why they've made it this size. You can get your fingers around the side of it, okay? So when you're doing the side of the car, you can hold on to it and you do not drop it, and it solves the problem, okay? Now, if it was a little bit bigger, you'll get a bit more coverage and you might clean a panel, you know, half a second quicker than if you're using a small one, okay? But the time difference is negligible. So the size is actually good. So size does matter, but in this case, smaller is actually better because you can get your hands around it more. That sounds so dodgy, but it's true. So that's the incredipad, okay? Some basic stuff to say about this product. It's around about $12.95, okay? As with all the products I feature, I'll put a link to the global distribution of the Microfiber Madness products. They're available all around the world. You can put in your country that you're from and it will list you all the distributors in that country. So you can go and shop around and find the products that way. So this one is about $12.95 on price, so it's good value. You know, that's a lot cheaper than the mitt as well, and it's about the same size, so that's good. I've just made some rough notes here that out of all the three offerings was my personal favourite wash media out of the incredimitt, the incredipad and the incredisponge, which we're going to be talking about next, okay? So I really rate that product, the incredipad. In fact, I love it, and I'm pretty much, you're going to be seeing me using that a lot in when I'm shampooing cars for future videos and stuff. It's really good. Okay guys, next up we have the incredisponge, okay? Just the basics on this. It is 11 to 12 pounds, so it's even cheaper than the incredipad, which is interesting because it's a little bit bigger as well. So the main difference between these, I think, is essentially the incredisponge is a sponge that is encased in microfiber, whereas this is a lot flatter pad. They are kind of quite similar to use. It's just going to go down to personal preference, guys. This one's a quid cheaper, basically. The sponge also has the advantage of being able to hold tons of product because it's a lot thicker. I found the sponge was just as good on the panels, but perhaps you can hold a little bit more on the, you know, you can hold a little bit more product for when you're doing the wheels and stuff like that. So this worked really well as an accompaniment for their wheel cleaning brush with the incredibrush that we're going to talk about in a minute. So really picking between the incredipad and the incredisponge, I'd use either because it's the same material. You know, I don't know why, but the pad is my favourite. But really the sponge is every bit as good, and it's a quid cheaper. So if you like the sound of being able to store more product in there, maybe it's a feel thing. Maybe you're further off the paint when you're wiping it, and maybe with the pad you just get a little bit more feel of the panel you're using. This pad also fits in nicely under that front scuttle where the windscreen wipers are, so it's quite handy for cleaning down there and getting into those lower grille areas where perhaps the sponge might be a little bit thicker. So the pad is the one that I personally favour, but take your pick. You know, some guys will be watching this and think, no, I'm happy with the mitt. You know, I like mitts. So it's whatever you like. The main thing is that format of microfiber that's on the surface is really, it's a really nice thing to have on your kind of clear coat and clean your car with. Okay guys, next up in this review we're going to be looking at the incredibrush, okay? So it comes, whoa, bit of paper in there. It comes in this lovely kind of branded packaging, which, you know, not a lot of them do. A lot of them times they turn up in bags, you know, or boxes. They've gone to the effort of designing all this branding and packaging, which costs money and costs time. Every time you make a change to the product, you have to change all the packaging and everything. So, you know, just a little marker that they're taking care over what they're kind of producing, okay? Now the incredibrush retails for between about 30 to 39 pounds over here in the UK, okay? Now the key thing, there are two versions of it, okay? The round and the flat. And Thomas that runs the company said to me, he'll send me the flat. Now the reason, after doing a bit of research, okay, One of the biggest problems you can have when you're trying to clean your alloy wheels, okay, and these brushes primarily excel and are for getting in there and cleaning out the barrel of your alloy wheel and kind of scrubbing against the barrel, the hard to reach places. Now the biggest problem whenever you're trying to clean the barrels of alloy wheels is clearance, okay? Now, the brushes I've used up to this point are good brushes, okay? Everyone knows about these wheel woolies, okay? And everyone likes them. It's a nice soft material, okay? They're sturdy, they're simple, they're not cheap for what they are. Unfortunately, I can't use these on my M135 and I can't use them on my Golf. The reason being, I can use them on a lot of other cars with a bit more clearance. The reason being is the brush cannot get through the gap between the brake disc or the shielding behind the brake disc, because that sits even further, and the barrel. And people that have used these will know that you sometimes get that problem, okay? So that brush doesn't do it. This brush, you know, that's daddy brush, this is mummy brush. Mummy brush gets stuck in the gap, and if you try and push it in there, you can hear that funky noise of it really scraping in, and it really tears the brush apart, okay? So even mummy brush can't work properly for my Golf and my 135, okay? Great on other cars where the clearance isn't a problem. So I end up having to use baby brush, you know, on these two cars. And trying to clean a barrel out with this tiny little thing is a bit like trying to sweep my garage out with a bloody toothbrush. You know, you can do it, but it will take you forever and it's hard work. So there is a real problem with wheelbarrow brushes, and that main problem is around clearance and how you find the right size that's going to be able to get in the gap between the brake discs and the shielding, but still be big enough to be effective, so you're not having to scrub it with little tiny tin here, you know. So that is the most important thing I wanted to get across this brush. If you're going to buy it, my recommendation is buy the flat brush, okay? Because it has a much, I've skipped explaining the basics about this product. So let me just explain some basic things about this product, okay? So you've got a plastic handle on the end here, okay? You've got a plastic shield so that when you're rubbing in and out of the barrels, you don't end up smacking the plastic handle against the lacquer, which is a nice thing that they thought about there, and that's important. It's nice and soft. You have a stainless steel core spring, okay? So it's not like a bit of mild steel in there that you bend and it stays bent. It's a spring, so that, you know, you're going to be flexing this all the time. And if it was a piece of mild steel that wasn't sprung, you're just going to be bending that steel all the time until it will break. So this is like a spring. It's also stainless steel, so it doesn't rust, because if it rusts, it's going to corrode. If it corrodes, it's going to snap. And finally, because the spring is obviously made of metal, they have covered it with a plastic core, so it doesn't make contact with anything. In other words, it's safe. So they've thought about the design. This has been designed with a bit of care, okay? And I've not seen anything like this. You know, I've not seen anything like this. So that's the handle and the shaft. So this microfiber is actually detachable, guys. So you can actually take this off and clean it. So it's got like an elasticated piece around the end. So you just free that first and then give it a little pull. This could go horribly wrong, end up whacking myself in the face. And it comes off pretty easily, okay? So once I've removed the microfiber on the outside, you can see why this flat version of the tool is so important. If it was the round version, it's thicker, then just that extra couple of centimetres is probably going to be the difference between being able to get the brush in that gap between the brakes and the brake calipers as well, which is even narrower, and not being able to, okay? So it's quite a clever thing. It's also sponge covered in material. So the sponge again is good at holding some product and foam. It's also good at giving you that cushioning and the softness, okay? So it's not brutal when you're kind of rubbing it in there. So really they have thought about everything with this brush, through to the handle, through to the guard, through to the stainless steel spring core, the covering of it, the thin sort of streamlined design so you can actually get this thing between your calipers and your discs and the barrel, and being able to remove the microfiber so that you can just throw it in the washing machine when you're washing the mitt at the same time. So everything is really cool with this product. Just when you think it couldn't get any more cooler, they also have a a drying fitment. I don't know what to call this. It's the same microfiber that they use in the drying towel, okay? So once you've washed the alloys, you can take, you know, these are going to get dirty, aren't they? Alloys are going to be covered in brake discs. You take this dirty thing off, you put the drying kind of towel microfiber over this, and then you go back and you can dry the barrels out and get the water out of there, okay? Okay guys, just wrapping up on the incredibrush. As with any product that kind of cleans, okay, or brushes in particular, you have a spectrum, okay? One end of that spectrum you could have aggression, okay? And on the other end of that spectrum you could have safety. Okay, now this particular product for me is way over on the safe side, okay? So there are some brushes on the market, some cleaning brushes, wheel brushes is the word I was looking for, sorry, that are, most of them are way over on the aggression side, and they use nylon strands sticking, embedded in a mild steel, a twisted mild steel core that's not even covered, okay? So when you go and use these brushes, and they're not particularly cheap, these other brushes, you whack them in there and start scrubbing around, and this metal core just bends like a coat hanger, okay? And it goes rusty as well after a couple of weeks of getting wet. There are some shocking wheel brushes on the market, okay? But sometimes you need aggression, okay? When you've got a really filthy alloy wheel and that dirt is kind of stuck to it, and you're using heavy chemicals and you're scrubbing them and that sort of thing, this brush isn't on that aggressive scale. What this brush is great at doing is cleaning your alloy wheels gently and safely, and it's really important to point that out, okay? So this is definitely over on the side of safety, and it just makes sense. It's got soft microfiber there, okay? But it's the sort of brush that I will want to use week in, week out for my alloys, because I've got them to a good condition and I've sealed them up, and now I want to maintain them with the least aggressive product that's going to maintain the finish and keep those alloys looking nice and sharp, okay? If I'm cleaning them with an aggressive brush with a metal core and nylon strands each week, it's just going to slowly deteriorate and kind of haze up the lacquer till those alloys look dull. And I've seen that happen, you know, because I've used, you know, it's only till recently that I've had the luxury of getting some of these really nice products, okay? So I've been using those cheap wheel brushes for most of my kind of detailing life, if you like. So yeah, this product has impressed me no end from the few times I've used it so far. One, the main thing, like I say, the thought that has gone into making every element of this brush really, really cool. The second thing, how safe and soft this is as a method of cleaning your wheels. And thirdly, really importantly, being able to get this product into all those gaps that I can't hit with my other brushes. That's really important for me, or else there's bits of my alloys that are just going to get left each week and not get cleaned with contact, okay? So this can even get into the brake calipers, and I'll overlay the footage of it getting into there. It can get between the little tiny gaps of the spokes. It can get absolutely everywhere. So really, really, really pleased with this incredibrush. The one thing I can say is I haven't been using it for years, so I don't know how the product is going to hold up durability wise. So if anyone knows this product, has been using it for a while and has got any comments on that, please let us know in the channel. I cannot think of anything that's going to fail on this. I don't think this spring is going to fail. I can't see it popping its way out of the housing because it's all moulded. So hopefully the durability and the reliability of this product should be good as well. So this is the Microfiber Madness incredibrush. Definitely highly recommended. Okay guys, last but by no means least, Microfiber Madness dropnetics. Now, one problem you will all have seen on cars, guys, that after you rinse them, and when you get to that stage, you're going to be doing your waxing or your polishing and all the fun bits, all the funner bits, you will see sometimes water will collect in certain areas of the car and then run out on the car, and then you'll kind of spot it and you'll wipe it away, and then sometimes you'll see it 5 minutes later and it's back, okay? And it's typically the wing mirrors that do it, but it's any areas that where store water. I've seen water trickle out of fuel caps, you know, on the rear section of the bumper, on hatchbacks, on the boot lid, the water can run out of there. There's so many different places where it can happen. Okay, and it's really annoying, and you kind of wipe it, and you even poke your microfiber in the wing mirror, or even use air. But sometimes, no matter what you do, that water will keep trickling out. Now, these dropnetic products are designed to solve that problem, okay? So the areas that will leak will be different on all cars, okay? And each car will have its own little areas where it will weep water from. But like I say, typically it's the wing mirror. All wing mirrors tend to collect it like a cup held sideways, and then slowly trickle them out. So you wipe them away, and you come back 5 minutes later, it's left. You finish the car and go away for the night and come back the next morning, and that where it's been running water, it's kind of settled on the car and turned to a little white kind of film, you know. So all you do with this dropnetic products, it's strips of microfiber that are wrapped, or a magnet that is wrapped with microfiber on all sides, so it's secured within there and safe. Okay, you find where the source of that water is, and you place the dropnetic strip on that panel, okay, to collect that water. This is genius, okay? I've not seen anything like this. It solves a real problem, and the alternative solutions to that problem, which for me have always just been poking it with microfiber and trying to get microfiber in there, but it never works. You know, you're trying to get microfiber under the glass on a wing mirror, and you don't want to be disturbing all that area. This is just a much better solution, okay? It's a bit of a luxury item, I'll give you that, but it works, okay? The key things, there are 3 different product offerings. So here we have the dropnetic minis, where you get 2 15cm strips, okay? That's the one I'd recommend. Perfect for the wing mirrors, which is the most common problem, or if you get it from your fuel cap covers or your door handles, okay? You don't tend to need the really long strips, okay? That was my thoughts on it. They also do a dropnetic XL, which is 1 long strip, guys, so 56cm strip for £18.50. Okay, so that would be ideal for a rear tailgate, or somewhere where there's a lot of water coming out of one section, and again, you'll know for your car where it's coming out. They also do a version, just a standard version, which is 2 strips of 28cm for £18.50. The mini version is £13. Just like I said to you, the area I see it happen the most, and it's every car I think I've had has done this, is the wing mirrors. And straight away, putting them on the M3 at the point that protrudes out the most, it's catching all those drops and stopping them running down the side of the car. So this is a cool little product that you just have and store with your microfiber for when you're detailing a car, and you've got it all the water off it, and you don't want that to carry on sort of running out after you've finished. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. So today we've been featuring these Microfiber Madness products, mainly the Incredi range, if you like, the incredibrush, the incredisponge, the incredipad, the incredi wash mitt. All of them are using this kind of 3-layer microfiber, which is a really good format for kind of washing and cleaning, okay? We've also featured those dropnetic products, which I had to get those in there because they are just a cool little thing that solves a problem, which, okay, it's not the end of the world, but it's annoying. If you keep wiping a panel and then coming back 5 minutes later and seeing the water on it, it drives you crazy. And this product solves the problem, and it works. So it's kind of a cool little thing that I haven't seen before, and I really wanted to just get it out there in case people weren't aware of them. Okay, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this review was useful, and like I say, I'm really impressed with this Microfiber Madness range, and I think you will be as well. This piece of microfiber is actually removable, detachable, if you like. So it's kind of sitting on there. Okay, so oh Jesus, that's the danger of having a big schnozzle. Definitely highly recommended, and I like my wool willies. Wool willies? Wheel woolies.